Elden Ring Nightreign is one of the titles that I'm going to be covering here at the end of the month. We already played the network test for this game, and I thought it was pretty fun, even though it felt quite a bit repetitious. So earlier this week, I ran into this video from IGN called Elden Ring Nightreign, How Limveld Will Change from Run to Run. Now, I believe that recently an embargo went up for Nightreign or something like that, because I've seen content from other content creators, including a very long video from Ouroboros that I quickly browsed through, and he was also talking about how Limveld changes from run to run, and how he played the thing for like the whole weekend or something like that, and apparently every single run of the same Night Lord was completely different. I'm like, okay, that's saying a lot, okay? Because during the network test, that is definitely not what we saw, so it seems like the final version of the game is going to be quite different. So I figured that I would check out this video from IGN where they're talking specifically about that feature of the game, and we see what exactly they have to say.
One of the biggest questions left over after Elden Ring Nightreign's network test back in February was, how will the world of Limveld change in the real game? After all, Nightreign is, for all intents and purposes, a roguelite, and one of the core elements of any roguelite is a degree of randomness or procedural generation that ensures that every run feels just a little bit different. Nightreign has that in the loot department, with every run giving you different rewards and forcing you to cobble together a build based on what you're able to find within that run. And
so that was definitely one of the things that we experienced during the network test, like, you know, the difference in characters. Changing up your character does make things different. The loot that drops during each of the runs does make things different, and it drastically changes your performance. Like, I've had runs where I felt ridiculously powerful because I got the right item drops for the bosses that we killed and all of that good stuff. And then I had other runs where I felt ridiculously underpowered, probably because I chose maybe not the best abilities, but at the same time, I also didn't necessarily get like good things rolling, whether that is in terms of loot or in terms of abilities. So yes, they definitely affect the performance as well as the overall experience quite a bit.
Forcing you to cobble together a build based on what you're able to find within that run, and also in the enemy and boss department, since none of the boss encounters are static, with the sole exception of the Night Lord battle on day 3. But as far as the world of Limveld,
in terms of the network test, we actually had quite a few bosses being repeated. It was particularly funny seeing friggin' Margit show up and being like, "Ah, I've ambushed you," and it's like, "You're gonna get these hands," is what you're gonna get.
Battle on day 3. But as far as the world of Limveld, we never really got a chance to see how it changes from run to run during the network test. During my 2 days of playtime at FromSoft's office and over the course of about 10 full runs, I got my answer to that earlier question. Here's how Limveld will change from run to run in Elden Ring Nightreign.
Okay.
Actually, we jumped the gun. Before we go into the ways that Limveld will change, let's quickly establish what doesn't change. The overall structure of Limveld will not change. The shape of the island, the major geographical features, the positioning of cliffs, rivers, and lakes, all of these will be the same, barring a few major exceptions that we'll cover in just a bit. The locations of Sites of Grace, Everjails, the launching Spirit Springs, cave entrances and exits, the spectral trees and the wind currents, all of these are static and do not change location from run to run.
Let's have a look there.
Trees and the wind currents, all of these are.
So all of these things are going to be static. I'm assuming that this depends on the Night Lord, because like wouldn't different Night Lords have like different locations, or is everything just Limveld? Because this is quite a small map like this.
Static and do not change location from run to run. There's also a giant castle that features exceptionally tough battles and big rewards right smack in the middle of the map that will never change. Everything else, from the locations of all the rest of the points of interest, the types of rewards offered at those points of interest, to the wandering mini-bosses and the bosses that you fight at the end of day 1 and day 2, are left completely up to chance. That said, there are 2 other huge factors that can completely alter a run. The first are world events known as Shifting Earth.
The setting of this particular scene looks significantly different than anything that we've done in the network test, which is interesting because it definitely shows us the potential scale that we can see in terms of variety when it comes to the randomness of some of the events or some of the things that can happen. I hope that they go a little bit deeper on that
Huge factors
aspect.
that can completely alter a run. The first are world events known as Shifting Earth.
Shifting Earth.
Occasionally, before you even launch into a level, you'll be made aware that there is a shifting Earth modifier in effect. In our playtime, the one we encountered was Crater, which transformed the northern section of the map, placing a giant crater in the middle and rivers of lava all around it. The enemies around and inside the crater are no joke, and wiped the floor with us when we first attempted to even get close enough to investigate the crater on the first day.
So I'm actually a little bit curious, like if you can have events like this, could this be something that they could do, like
Occasionally,
in terms of something that happens, you know, on a certain seasonal basis or something? So it could be like, okay guys, this week, boom, shifting Earth like snow times. Next week, boom, shifting Earth this other thing, and that completely like changes the nature of the thing. But according to what he's saying, it's also really cool that apparently the enemies in there were significantly harder than some of the other stuff that they've experienced because they struggled to even get through it on day one.
before you even launch into a level, you'll be made aware that there is a shifting Earth modifier in effect. In our playtime, the one we encountered was Crater, which transformed the northern section of the map, placing a giant crater in the middle and rivers of lava all around it. The enemies around and inside the crater are no joke, and wiped the floor with us when we first attempted to even get close enough to investigate the crater on the first day. But investigate it you should, and you should do so as soon as the second day begins, if you're up to the challenge. Exploring the crater took us pretty much the entirety of the second day, but when we did eventually make it all the way to the bottom, we beat a boss that granted us an epic rarity level reward by itself, but then also the unique—
I was wondering if that was going to be like the centipede demon, but no.
reward of being able to take any weapon in our arsenal and upgrade it to the maximum level for free.
Ooh.
It's a risky endeavor though, because in order to escape the crater, you need to use a bunch of spectral trees and ride the hawks from platform to platform as you try to escape, which will certainly lead to nail-biting escape sequences when you take too long in the crater and now must race against the clock to get out while the circle closes in around you.
Risk reward. Like, this is very exciting to me because even though I'm usually not a big fan of like having time pressures, and the way that they're tackling those in Elden Ring Nightreign, because the time pressure is on like a whole team and it is run based, so it's not like one big long game and then all of a sudden there's like all of these time pressure sequences. Like, that is the game. I can kind of see like some really clutch moments happening in situations like this, and that has me kind of like pumped for it.
The other big way that runs can change are through the appearances of certain events that seem to occur completely randomly and can throw a huge wrench into an otherwise routine run. I've seen only a couple of these, and some might be familiar with the Margit invasion from the network test, in which Margit the Fell will just all of a sudden jump into your game and just mercilessly hunt your squad down wherever they are.
In our case, it's like Margit the Fell will suddenly jump into your game and get a furious beatdown. That's what Margit the Fell gets.
But a new one that I encountered involved the appearance of a swirling tornado-like phenomenon in the sky. When our squad approached it, we were suddenly attacked by a very tough group of AI-controlled nightfarers who seemingly invaded us from another world. Like typical NPC invasions in Elden Ring, these enemies were smarter and hit a lot harder than typical enemies, making it
that doesn't seem like a very smart enemy, that one right there. Like, bro's talking about, oh yeah, these enemies were so smart. Like, look at how smart he is, getting completely gang-banged in the corner.
Invaded us from another world. Like
crap.
Typical NPC invasions in Elden Ring, these enemies were smarter and hit a lot harder than typical enemies, making it another big risk-reward consideration to explore the areas near one of these ominous swirling tornadoes in the sky.
I mean, they hit harder. I'm assuming they'll give you more rewards.
The most impactful of all of these random events, though, was the appearance of a mysterious boss that would attack from miles away with mortar shots of level-sapping bugs. That's right, get hit even just
level-sapping bugs? Hello, Alant? What are you doing in my Elden Ring?
Once by these telegraph mortar strikes, and you lose a level. It's not even limited to just losing one. Get hit again, he'll take another level. The only way to get those levels back is to find and kill the boss by following the bugs to his hiding spot. Unfortunately, I don't have footage of this, nor do I know what the reward is for killing him, because by the time we found the boss by following the bugs, the circle had started encroaching, and we just wouldn't have been able to kill him before the circle killed us.
Oh my god, this looks so crazy. Like, the thing was, when we played the network test again, because that's the only experience that I have with Nightreign at this point. It didn't feel particularly challenging, so it can be a little bit concerned. It's like, oh, is this going to be something that we're going to figure out, like, within 2 or 3 days and just have it all on lock? And now that I'm looking at all this stuff, I'm like, ooh, they're cooking. They're cooking something.
Not gonna lie, it was pretty soul crushing to have to just give up on those levels that he stole from us, and it really kind of doomed our run from day one. There are certainly more of these that I still haven't encountered, like the Forest of Corruption, the Madness Towers, and more that we see in the overview trailer released by From Software. It's worth mentioning as well that if you don't like the shifting earth modifier that will affect the world, you can use the bed in the round table hold to sleep to either remove the modifier or have it replaced by something else.
It's like, again, I like when the game kind of pushes back. I don't like this idea. It's like, oh, just go to sleep and, it goes away. Or it might be replaced by something worse. But I'm assuming that going to sleep should incur some type of a cost or something.
It will hold to sleep to either remove the modifier or have it replaced by something else. As devastating.
Also, does this mean that it's not always in sync for everybody? So, like, different people will get, like, different conditions, and depending on whose run you join, you're going to experience different conditions?
As some of these modifiers can be, I'm nonetheless eagerly anticipate seeing more of them. They inject a healthy level of chaos into what otherwise might start to feel very routine, and led to some great emergent moments with high emotion between me and my squad mates as we raced to escape the crater, or panicked at an unexpected ambush, or felt true despair as we realized the levels that were stolen from us were gone forever. Moments like these are the heart of any good roguelite, and hopefully Nightreign is able to keep them coming at a steady pace.
It definitely seems like Nightreign is going to be even more exciting than I initially predicted, because I thought that it was going to be something a little bit more routine based on the network test stuff. But yeah, the new footage that we're seeing now is actually looking really, really solid. Like, I can't wait to get my hands on it. What about you guys? Let me know in the comment section down below how you feel about Elden Ring Nightreign. But for now, that's going to be it. If you guys enjoyed it, hit the like button, subscribe, bell notification icon, all of that jazz. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Stay strong, stay safe. Peace out.